The harsh, cold truth is AI is changing the way that we're going to be selling moving forward. And if you don't actually adapt to this new way of selling, not only are you going to be left behind, but most importantly, you're going to lose out on the opportunity of gaining the unfair advantage that you could have had if you actually learned how to leverage AI properly to sell. Now, hey, if we don't know each other, my name is Larry Antaporta. I'm actually personally closed over 5.4 million in high ticket sales, and I've created this AI sales reps that's actually booking over 400 plus calls on a regular basis for our clients. And in this video, I'm going to actually show you and kind of explain why this is the opportunity of a lifetime. And there's a shift in the market happening right now. And if you stick until the end, I'm going to teach you how to actually really gain this new wave to your advantage, and most importantly, come out as a winner. So that being said, I was actually just doing some morning reading. If you don't know what this is, it's the Almanac by Naval Ravikant. So he's one of the most successful investors, VC guys. He's an entrepreneur as well. And he's talking about this idea of leverage, right? Leverage is so important in business because it's the thing that actually allows you to get more for less. So he talks about there's really four forms of leverage, right? There's labor, there's money, there's media, and then there's code. And the worst form of leverage, what he goes on to talk about, and the oldest form of leverage is actually not a great one in the modern world. It's called labor, right? So other humans working for you. And he says, I would argue this is the worst form of leverage that you could possibly use. Managing other people is incredibly messy. It requires tremendous leadership skills. You're one short hop from mutiny or getting eaten or torn apart from the mob. And then he goes on to actually say that the highest form of leverage is code, right? Code is probably the most powerful form of permissionless leverage. All you need is a computer. You don't need anyone's permission. It accelerated with broadcast media, and now it's really blown up with the internet and with coding. Now you can multiply your efforts without involving other humans and without needing money from other humans. So let's talk about this. Why is code the form of leverage, right? The highest form. Why is that going to be an advantage through AI? I'll kind of explain this through a story that I remember back when I was first getting into sales. So my first tech sales job was actually joining this company called MindBody, right? It was pretty much selling the CRM software to people in the health and wellness industry. So gyms, yoga studios, right? All of that. And when I was first starting on the job, there was always kind of this like neck and neck competition between me and this guy, Barrett, right? And Barrett was the top sales rep. And I hate to admit this, but it was my first sales job. I was always kind of number two to Barrett, right? And I remember one day our sales manager and our whole sales team was pretty much encouraged to use this new software called Outreach. And Outreach back in the day, and I don't know if it's actually still being used, I believe it is, but Outreach was this way to actually just efficiently make cold calls to your list, right? And I'm not going to lie, it was a bit frustrating, it was a bit stressful and a bit overwhelming trying to learn that new software, because before I even, started to learn this Outreach software, most of the sales floor was just based on just cold calling the hard way, right? You have your lead list and you just make the dials. So you're just relying on what they say pretty much is the lowest form of leverage, which is labor, hard work, right? You put hours in and you get output, production out, right? And so what I started to realize was I could always outwork everyone on the sales floor, right? And to be honest, that's how I became number two, was I just put in more hours, I put in more volume, I made more cold calls, and I just put in more hours studying and training. So that was always my unique edge, was labor. And it's always kind of been like that since, high school, elementary, going through college. I was just willing to outwork most people. Well, here comes along Barrett after a couple months of doing this like back and forth, neck and neck competition. And Barrett was a smart guy. What he did was, when this new Outreach software actually came to place, what did he do? He learned how to master the new software, aka code, the highest form of leverage, faster, quicker than anyone else in the sales floor. So what used to be this tight competition, you could actually see Barrett in less than 30 days double his call volume, double his booked appointments, double his deals closed, and most importantly, double the amount of money that he was making, right? And it was not even a clear competition anymore. It wasn't neck and neck, me and Barrett, right? It was just Barrett obviously outperforming everyone else. So how did this happen? Well, he was smart. He understood there's a higher form of leverage with code with this new software. And no matter how hard I worked, no matter how much better I might have thought that I was in sales than him, he was going to beat me every single month. And this happened for a few months, right? This happened for about 2 to 3 months until I got sick and tired of it. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to be the Karen with this mentality of like sitting on the sidelines and not wanting to adapt to this new way and just being stuck to my old ways of hard work. I'm going to figure out the software. And so I eventually did do that. And out of, I would say, I think it was like a 6-month period of doing this, I did get the number one spot back, but it was only like one time. And I was like, damn, dude, this sucked. And the lesson that I learned from this experience was, even though it was only like 2 to 3 months that Barrett had ahead of me, that was enough to pull away from the rest of the pack, right? It's think back to like when you're possibly like watching like the Olympics when they're doing the long distance running or doing the sprinting, that person has such an edge over everyone else that there's no one even that comes close. So you're honestly just competing for the silver medal at that point, right? And that's what happened with me, man. I eventually did end up leaving MindBody for another company to go sell for a different company. But that experience of working at MindBody and discovering how someone could gain a unique edge, this is something I still apply to my business today. And I say all of this because back in the 2010s, right, when I was selling that stuff for the first time, learning sales, the unique edge was software. That was the highest form of leverage. The people who adapted to learning the best software, whether it was in sales or other markets, people who understood how to leverage the software to its maximum capability, they became the top 10% winners in any industry. And today, in this next decade, in the 2020s and beyond, the people who are going to win, the people who are going to be the top 10% winners, are those who learn how to leverage the new disruptor, which is AI. So I shared this whole story to really just give this insight, give this lesson, to learn from my mistake that back in the day, software was what gave people the unique edge, and those were the winners. Those are the Metas of the world, the Salesforce of the world. These are the people who got the leading edge. They learned software. The next winners are going to be the people who learn how to utilize and properly leverage the highest form of leverage now, which is AI, right? And I'm on a mission because I built sales teams. I built multiple sales teams to 7 figures. I've, personally been a SDR, a closer, an AE. I've been a sales manager. I've been a sales director. I've gone through the whole gauntlet. And I realized the sales industry and just how we build sales teams is archaic. It's outdated. We still rely on the lowest form of leverage, which is labor. And I've been scratching my head, running around in circles, trying to figure out how do I tap into more leverage, right? And hey, here's the thing. We can use software and things to gain more leverage and things like that. But the fundamental way that we build sales teams and we sell is still heavily 80%, 90% reliant on labor. A human sales rep will call you and you'll have a conversation there. They'll manually update the CRM and the notes, and they'll manually send the follow-up. They'll manually sign the contracts and send over the agreements, and they'll manually update. Like, everything is so manual that the number one thing that most sales reps need to be focusing on, which I've learned through my experience here, building sales teams and being my own closer, is they mainly spend it on repetitive, mundane tasks that aren't even focused on selling. You'll be surprised that when you actually track your time and I've tracked it with my reps, you're spending like maybe 30, 40% selling and the rest of your day just with stuff that is admin, follow-up, repetitive tasks. And so the question then became, how can I flip it around the head? How can I get my reps and myself and other people, my clients, to spend 80 to 90% of their time selling and 10% on the other stuff? Right? How can I get them doing the needle moving activity, which is actually being on a phone call or at least closing deals, right? Because I started to realize this. I was like, I don't think we're at a time yet. And who knows, depending on when you're watching this technology, AI moves fast. I don't think we're at a time yet where AI can close deals for us. I think as humans, we still need another human face to face or Zoom to Zoom room actually enrolling us, actually closing the deal, right? So I think that part is still absolutely necessary. I believe we're maybe 5 to 10 years out. Very conservative bet. But I still, to this day, I still think humans need that to a certain degree, right? But what we do have now, what the technology is caught up to, is we can have AI handle the other stuff prior to closing the deal. We can handle it with booking the appointment, following up, updating the CRM, doing all the manual, repetitive admin work, right? The research and personalization that you need to craft an email or message, right? AI can do about 80% of that stuff already. And it's not just like, average work. It can do it better than a human, depending on how you program your AI. And so I realized there was this rare opportunity that, business owners, entrepreneurs, sales reps aren't seeing, which is AI can actually help streamline and take off your hands a lot of the sales activities, a lot of the repetitive manual admin, a lot of the follow-up, right? And sometimes it can do it better than you. So I started to come to a realization here, and the lesson that I want to kind of impose on you is this idea of first mover's advantage, which is right now you have a rare opportunity where AI is still in the early frontier. If you learn how to actually master it, learn how to actually use it and leverage it, you can be it's not even a lot, the 3 to 4, 5 steps ahead now to gain an unfair advantage over your competition, to become the top 10%, even 1% in your space or industry, to become that person that saves hours and hours of time, get that back, that makes more and more money than everyone else, that captures more and more market share than everyone else. And most importantly, just take away all the stress, the headaches, and overwhelm that's actually being caused by all this manual labor, the lowest form of leverage. In fact, I've started to really implement this not only for myself, but my whole team. I'm becoming an AI-powered business. I'm teaching my team members to become an AI savvy thinker. How do we use these tools? Because it's not always about, this is the number one mistake that I see with people, and when I teach my clients and teach guys, I'm like, hey guys, it's not about trying to get AI to replace you 100%. It's not about replacement. It's about augmentation. What do I mean by that? How can I augment? How do I help boost the process that I'm already doing to solve the problem sooner? Because it's not about always trying to find new opportunities, right? It's not trying to make things fancier. The mistake that 90% of people make with AI is they try to create new opportunities inside of their business. The truth is, become the top 10% that actually figure out the smart way, which is, how do I use AI to solve my biggest problems I'm currently facing right now? The challenges, the bottlenecks I'm facing right now. How do I use AI to solve that, right? It's not about trying to seek the new opportunity. It's about trying to solve the current constraints. That's how you move to the next level. That's how you get more sales. That's how you get more revenue. That's how you save more time, right? And so as I've been thinking more and more about this thesis of how do I leverage AI to solve my problems, that's where it led me to focus on the first and most important thing, which is forget the funny cat photos that you can create with Midjourney or ChatGPT or Grok, but figure out how to use AI to book more appointments, qualify your opportunities, your leads, to follow up where humans might get lazy, to increase our speed to lead to 5 minutes, meaning engage a lead as soon as it comes into our marketing funnel. How do we engage that as soon as possible, right? On average, a human SDR, a human setter, will take 45 to 47 minutes. That's usually the range for a new lead to be contacted. And even though as leaders and sales managers and business owners, we're like, hey guys, speed to lead is really important, they obviously just have other things going on that they're, maybe they're hopping off a call, maybe they're doing admin, maybe they're taking a lunch break. They're not always going to drop everything to contact a lead because it's human labor, the lowest form of leverage. So then I realized, well, what if we just use AI to program it and contact it literally within a minute or two, less than 5 minutes? This actually more than doubles your chances of booking that call because you've gotten to them in that quick and timely manner. All possible through the highest form of leverage, which is AI. And so as I've thought more and more about this, I'm like, man, it's not about being fancy with this stuff. It's just about being simple. Simple always sells, right? Complexity kills. And so how do we create AI that just solves simple but big problems, which is booking more appointments and closing more deals, right? Again, I'm not trying to have AI close the deal entirely. There might be some elements of that that can be done with maybe a lower ticket price point. I've seen it done before. But at the end of the day, when I'm selling something that's more higher ticket, right? A couple $1,000s or more, right? 5-figure investment, 6-figure investments for some enterprise deals for people who are probably going to do this at an enterprise level. You're still going to need a human. So that's why it's really important to kind of not work against AI or be, have someone replace, everything. But it's like, how do we work with AI? How do we create a hybrid sales team approach where 50% of it is AI, 50% of it is humans, and you're teaching your top sales reps to use AI properly to maximize the opportunity that you have in your pipeline, to maximize, your time, to maximize really the rare opportunity where we have disrupting technology. Because the truth is, technology like this is not going to come every 1 to 2 years. You probably have every decade one key play that you can do, right? In the 2000s, it was the internet. The 2010s, it was social media, aka and software. In the 2020s, it's AI. So every 10 years, you get this opportunity, y'all. And what my invitation to you is, you got to choose wisely. You can either be the Karen that sits on the sidelines waiting for your competitors to do this over the next 6 to 12 months and then take even more market share away from you, and you make less sales while they make more. Or you can be the Barrett, shout out to my homie Barrett, who actually doubled down, leaned in, was not afraid to figure out the new way of selling and double down on this new disrupting technology that might just change your life, your business, and your client's life forever. So that being said, that's the video for today. If you like this type of content, just feel free to like this video and subscribe and follow my profile and channel here. Right, I'm going to talk more about some of this AI stuff, the sales stuff, and how I bring kind of the yin and yang, the two worlds together, right? And also, there's going to be a link below to actually follow and join my free school community. We have over 880 people already inside there. I really share the latest strategies with AI, with sales, the tactics. I share even some custom AI tools that me and my team have created. You get it for free inside there. So go ahead, join that below. Join us for the fun, and we'll see you on the other side. With that being said, again, Larry and Sapora, so thankful for your attention and your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Sayonara. Sales Sensei out.